Hey, it's JC, the Gospel Centered Health Coach. Today I'm talking about my own personal story on how the Lord healed my sugar addiction. Now, I don't take that lightly when I say that. He healed it. It was Him. And I can say that because it's been 15 years now. This is a recovery that has lasted. It was real. He changed me in ways that are very hard for me to capture in words, but I'm going to try. It started 15 years ago. Like I said, I was a mom of a big family, very stressful, crazy, busy life, kids going in every direction, struggling with some mood swings, depression, restlessness, just some irritability, and thought it was my hormones, like a lot of us do. Or we blame it on our circumstances. I blamed it on my kids and my life and my craziness. And I had seen doctors, I'd tried supplements, I'd looked at medication, hadn't really tried that yet, but I just knew something had to change. And finally, I had a weekend where, just like many of us do, just a complete bottom out, crash and burn. It was kind of the worst of the worst. And I remember not just getting on my knees to go pray and ask for help. It almost felt like I was like crawling to His feet and just begging, just telling Him, like, I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this. I can't be a mom like this, or a wife. I can't, and I need You. And I don't know what's wrong. And I absolutely know, without a shadow of a doubt, the next day a friend recommended a book on sugar addiction, which I wasn't looking for that answer. But, for some reason, because I had maybe prayed with that kind of desperation, I thought, okay, started reading this. And the author talked a lot about all those things I was suffering and connected it to a high sugar diet, which that was me. I was binging. I was a chocoholic. It was my coping mechanism. I was all in and had been for a long, long time. Didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But then once I started reading about the realities of what that kind of diet was doing to my body, how it was causing the depression, for me, it was. I know in every case is different, but for me, all of the horrible emotional crazy that I was going through, she described. I'll tell you in a minute about the book, but I began to realize, oh man, like I'm doing this to myself by the way I'm eating. It's not helping me. This coping mechanism, it's killing me. So I began to start on this journey of healing my body's addiction, kind of hand in hand with the Lord, asking for His help. But what I began to realize, and what I've come to see as I've coached others, and now as I look back over the 15 years that I've been on this journey, part of the process absolutely involved His leading me to a program that could heal the addiction of my body. My brain chemistry was addicted to sugar, and it's a very real thing. A lot of people say sugar's not addictive. Well, if you've experienced it, you don't have to have science prove it to you. You know it is. I knew I would keep eating after I was sick, after I'd promised myself 1,000 times that I'd stop. I acted like an addict. If I didn't have any in the house, I'd be in the car. I'd say it was for bread and milk, but it was for the chocolate. I acted like an addict. I just hadn't told myself that. And once I began to read the science of it, my brain really was addicted to this substance. Your brain can be addicted to sugar. It acts like an opioid in the body. In fact, Dr. Mark Hyman has said that it's 8 times more addictive than cocaine. And a lot of us, look around you, kind of don't need studies to show how many of us completely just downing gallons of soda. We're all about our sugar, and it's pretty tough. So part of that healing came from learning how to heal the brain chemistry, the cravings. That came from this author, Kathleen DeMason. I don't always say it right. It's French. This is her new and revised Potatoes Not Prozac. I actually came across her second book, The Sugar Addict's Total Recovery Program. And I'll put links below to both of those books. Absolutely, I love her program. There's a lot of programs out there. I believe in all of them. It doesn't have to be this program for everybody. It fit me because it went slow. And I didn't take out the sugar right away. And she teaches you slowly how to heal the brain's cravings so they calm down on their own just by eating a different way. And then you kind of just don't need the sugar like you used to. It doesn't scream at you and call to you from the pantry like it used to. And that very much happened. And so you can learn more about her program. There were definitely some quirky things about the program that didn't fit my life. And I was in a very spirit-led, prayerful way. I shifted the program a bit. Some of the stuff I was like, I can't do this for my whole life. So the Lord helped me tailor it to my own needs, and it absolutely did heal my body. Those cravings did quiet, and my depression has been gone for 15 years. Gone. The mood swings. It doesn't mean I never have a bad day, but man, compared to the roller coaster I was on, it's like little bumps now. It's amazingly different how my body responds now to a diet without that drug. The reason I want to go a little further on this video, though, because there's a lot of programs out there, and I've seen people do them for a while, and you can have success. But the Lord knew it had to go deeper for me, because it wasn't just that my body and my brain was addicted to sugar. My soul was. My heart. It was, when you start calling sugar your best friend, your therapy, your happy place, your bliss, like, you can hear those of us start to use language when we talk about it. It's become much more than just a treat for our tongue. Like, it is a soul deep best friend that is very, very hard to detach ourselves from. And so for me, part of the process was healing my soul and getting it to attach to Christ the way it had formerly been attached to food. Now, I've had so many women, well, men and women, ask me, I coach a lot of women, say to me, okay, I know I need to rely on Christ more than the donuts. Like, I get it. And I have some other videos about that, and you can check those links below. But how do I just read my scriptures more? People say that to me, like, well, yeah, I need to read my Bible more. I need to read more. I need to kind of do this stuff more. That's not what it looked like for me, because I had been reading my scriptures, but I was still like binging and reaching for, my soul was still not satisfied the way it needed to be. So that was part of my journey as well, was learning how he could become my happy place in every circumstance. He kind of was occasionally, as a lot of us as believers, I'd been a believer my whole life, gone to church my whole life. And here I was in my 30s, starting to realize that I was incredibly attached to something that wasn't him, and trying to get my soul fed through that source, trying to fill that void through that sugar instead of letting him do it. But I didn't know how to let him do it. I mean, I tasted what he could give on occasion. I'd been filled with his love. I'd been filled with that amazing light and life that can come through Christ, but it didn't stay with me. And so many days I just ran for the fridge and ran for the pantry instead of reaching for that again. And so I didn't know how to do it on a daily basis. So I don't really have time in this video to go through that. That's why I've created the resources that I have below. You can check those links out. There's a lot more that we can talk about, especially in my online courses, about how to be satisfied in Christ, how to find fullness in him instead of food. I have an 8-series course on that just, to me, it was a journey, but that was a huge part of it. Another part of my addiction recovery came through looking at the 12 steps that began in Alcoholics Anonymous, but then now have been spread through. There's a million Christian-based programs for food addiction, for all kinds of different things, just basing those 12 steps and using them for recovery. I think a lot of us get really nervous when we start talking 12 steps. I think of a lot of us back up and we're like, no, it's not that big of a problem. I'm not like those other people who need 12 steps. I just eat a few too many cookies. Like, it's not, I really had to process some denial. But the reason the 12 steps resonated with me was because mainly the first 3. The first one is, I can't do this on my own. And boy, had I come to that place. I'd tried and failed and tried. Every Monday or every January 1st, or I had tried 1,000 times. I knew I was binging. I knew I was out of control. But I had finally gone into the world of denial because I hadn't been able to do anything to break that addiction. So step number 1 in the 12 steps, I can't. I'm powerless. Admitting that to God, that began to feel really good to me, to just say to him, I need help. I can't do this. I have tried, and I just can't do it on my own. Step 2 is beautiful. He can do it. It's just so simple that he does have the power to deliver, even from something you've tried and failed at 1,000 times. It's just opening up our eyes and exercising our faith to see even in this area. Isn't that crazy? We ask him for help in parenting and finances and health problems and big moves and job changes, and we'll get on our knees and pour out our heart. But sometimes we forget that he's just as involved in our health, in our diets, in what we eat, especially if we're in bondage to something like we can be with sugar addiction. So as I began to go to step 2 and think, he can heal this. Again, I don't believe that this program alone was the whole reason, because really without his grace, without his strength enabling me and his comfort getting me through the hard days, I probably would have crashed and burned on that too. In fact, I found that book in reality, I'll admit to you. I found that book 2 years before my kind of awakening moment. 2 years before I'd found it at the library and read it. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And I was still so deep in denial. I just was like, oh, no, this isn't. And I took it back and I thought it was stupid. And I think the Lord must have smiled and went, all right, I tried. When you're ready. The program was his vehicle to help me, but it was him. It was his strength. It was his nearness, his intimacy with me, and in helping me day in, day out, that brought me to this 15 years down the road. I'm not white knuckling this. I have not been white knuckling this. That's why I know it's him. Because if it were me, all my attempts prior to that had been just white knuckle, hold my breath, try to do it. I wasn't healed. I was just trying to fake it until I made it, right? But I knew something had changed when he changed me on the inside. That's when I knew it was him. Step 3, so first step is I can't do it on my own. Second step is he can. Step 3, I loved more than anything. I heard someone phrase it once, just paraphrase that step saying, I think I'll let him. It's time to let him help. Turn to him, turn it over to him. And really, that's why I know I'm standing here this many years later, still healed. Is because it was through the power of Christ. He used some mentors and some experts and some other information and brought that together, but it was really by clinging to him day in, day out. This one had a hold on me. Sorry, excuse me. And I know for some of you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you may watch this and go, just stop eating sugar. What's so hard? But those of us that have been in the grip of this for a long time, perhaps from childhood, nothing has even come close. And we see it, and the shame over that and the helplessness over that. Deep down, we may have buried it under layers of denial or rationalization or whatever. But he just kind of opened that Pandora's box for me and said, do you want me to heal this? Or do you want to try to keep carrying this burden? And you know what? I was finally at a low enough point that I said, yeah, I need you to heal this. Whatever it takes, just get me through it, help me. And I'm not saying it was easy. It was a bit of a process. And I talk about that more in some of my courses and my podcasts, but we got there. We got there. There is an answer for sugar addiction. And it is a real problem. It is. It is something that keeps us from full effectiveness in Christ. It keeps us in bondage, and we can be set free. If you want to learn more and join me in this kind of Christ-centered, gospel-centered approach to health and wellness, check out the links below, subscribe to my channel. I'll talk more about it. But I'm just here as a witness to say today, you can be free. There is a way. Join me and I'll teach you more. Thanks so much for listening today.